Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm your host, Andrea Eppy. Welcome, everyone, in the chat. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful Thursday. We're almost there. Almost a Friday. We can make it through this week, I promise. So welcome, everyone that's just joining. Robzilla, Sam, Ariana, Rosie. As always, let me know if you guys have any questions while I'm designing today. So I have a very fun challenge for you guys today. Today is day 8 of our 2-week challenge. So we only have one more day left, sadly. But next week we're going to start with a whole new set of challenges. So don't worry. I'm going to go ahead and hop on over to Behance. So if you want to follow along with me, I'm on behance.net/challenge/XD if you'd like to follow along with me. As always, go ahead and sign up with that big blue button right here, and you'll get notified each day at 8 a.m. in your Creative Cloud app that there is a new challenge. So let's go ahead and scroll on down and look at all of these challenges that we've completed so far. Thank you, everyone that's been sharing your work in Discord. I love seeing all of your work, so you've been doing a great job. Okay, today we're going to do interactive decorations. So design an interactive pie or cake decorating experience, kind of keeping with the fall theme with pies today. We're going to create a scrollable area where users can select options like cake type, number of fillings, layers, toppings, really whatever you want to put on a pie or cake. And I say scrollable area here, and there's a few different ways we can do this today. So if you want to, you can grab the starter file, and this will take you over to where we host those. Just hit copy to your work, and you can kind of follow along with me, see some links to resources and stuff that I like. So this is a little preview of what we're going to do today. Like I mentioned, there's a few different ways that we can do this. I'll show you the scrolling way, and I'll show you this way, which is actually the drag trigger. But yeah, so we're gonna just show some different toppings. So I've got my different toppings down here. We're gonna kind of scroll through each of these. Just a fun one today. Just something to, kind of round out the week nicely, almost. All right, so I thought that would be fun today. Let's see, let's hop back here. As always, if you missed anything or you want to go back and just rewatch a part of this, you can hit watch video to rewatch anything. And I'm live every day at 2 p.m. Pacific, so just hop back here again tomorrow for the next one. And if you do want to get feedback on any of your work, you can hop on over to Discord. bit.ly/XD Discord. That is where you can find this great community. I'll pop this up real quick. Great community of a bunch of designers and really anyone that wants to join, and you can post your work in this current challenge channel right here. And I like looking through here just to see, get some inspiration of what you guys are working on, and yeah, awesome work. We'll look at a few of these towards the end of the stream. I already have a few picked out that we're going to look at, but if you want feedback, just put it in there. All right, so that's Discord. Let's hop into XD. All right. As always, this portion is your starter file, so you're not going to get all of my components and everything, but feel free to totally make it your own. And then this is, of course, the resource booklet. You can hop over here in the Components tab to see a few of my favorite resources. But today, just for some inspiration, there's like a lot of pizza apps out there, so maybe try not to do pizza because I feel like that's a little bit overdone. But that's kind of the idea that we're going for. So, letting the user choose the different toppings, like all of these down here. Maybe you can add a little auto animate. I'm letting you kind of do this whatever way you want. This one, I loved the color palette, just very friendly, nice and pink. And I liked that Paulina showed the image of the cake front and center. That was, in our level of hierarchy, that was the first thing we see. So I love that one. Tips from today, you can feel free to look through those if you want. I'm not going to read them, but just be sure to share your work on Behance and Discord when you're done. Behance with the keyword XD Daily Challenge. All right, Welcome. Ariana said, you can never have too much pizza. That is true, but I do feel like I see a lot of those apps. So that's why I chose pie today. Welcome, Joshua. Awesome, everyone that's just joining. Okay, so I've got a few different artboards here today. I'm going to do just like 5 that we can sort of swipe through. And I'm actually going to kind of space these out a little bit more because I'm going to need some room, and you'll see why in just a bit. So as always, I usually start with, the menu area up here. I've got a few icons already kind of picked out. So our menu icon right there. We're going to need a background because I want that to stand out a little bit. So this is kind of why I made a little bit more space up here. Just so sometimes if you have artboards right next to each other, this will think it's supposed to be on this artboard and vice versa. So I just like to space it out a bit sometimes. Okay, so let's scroll on up here. I've got this nice sort of warm tan color that I want to use for this top area. And then we can add our title of whatever your app is called. So I'll just call this Pie Recipes and Inspiration. And we can move this kind of just right underneath this little menu bar right there, sort of to the left aligned. And the font I'm using today is Omnis. This is one of my favorites. And then we'll do a little tagline. I'll say, find your perfect pie. And we'll make this a little smaller, make this white. Maybe bring down that opacity a little bit so it's not like the first thing we see. And then under here, I would like to add a search bar, but I don't just want to add like a normal run-of-the-mill one. Let's instead start it from the left, and then I'll kind of just make it stop right where this icon stops right here. No border. And then I want to just round these corners right here. So that way we kind of have some just nice negative space going along here. So let's come over here into our radius button, and then we'll just select those 2 top and bottom on the right and put these at like 20, I'd say. Perfect. That was a good guess. And then let's see, we've got our search icon right here. Let's put that there. And we can add some text for search. We'll just say search pies, or maybe just search. They can search whatever they want. All right, cool. So the sort of top area looks good. Now I'll start on the bottom. So I've already picked out a bunch of different stock images here of pies and toppings, and I'm just gonna start dragging these. And I already went ahead and made this a component just because usually most of these, if you're picking like, fruit and stuff, the stock images, they come with a white background. So if you want to get rid of that, let me just show you that real quick. All you have to do is select a circle or another shape and then just drag it over the top. Select both of those and then you'll create a clipping mask. So just Shift Command M is that shortcut. So that's how I did that. All right, so let's kind of have this just overlap right there. That looks nice. Richard's back in the chat. He said, hello everyone, I'm back, friends and buddies. Aw, love it. Okay, and then I've got like 5 or 6 of these different toppings that I'm just gonna pull down here so we can kind of see them all at once. And I think I even need to space these out a little bit more. You'll see why in just a second. We need lots of space here. Okay. And you may have seen me do this before. So what I want to do here, so you could either do one way where we kind of swipe through each of these, which would be you sort of line all these up in a row like this, and then group them all together. And then you would come over here to your scroll groups and just hit this horizontal scroll. And then you could bring this over just a touch, and let's just preview that so far. So you could do it horizontally like this, obviously line it up a little bit better. That way I think looks perfectly fine. But the way that I'm gonna do it today is sort of in a circle. So while we click on, you know, maybe some fruit down here, and I'll adjust that a bit, while we click on this bottom area, then we want the fruit or the pies to kind of rotate in the opposite of like this circle here. So what we need to do, let's go back into the design tab. We're just gonna kind of arrange all of these in a circle here, like this. And actually, let's line up all the fruit that we want to be the buttons on the bottom first. Let's do that. So again, same with these. I already went ahead and made them clipping masks. I don't know about the lime pie. Key lime pie is a thing though. So I don't know. I've never had it. Sounds kind of gross to me. I don't know. Okay, so what I want is to kind of swipe through all of these. And let's see. I want to make a little gray background also, just to make it stand out a little bit more. So let's send this backward. I'll make this gray. I'll give it no border. And let's just bring it in just a touch. Okay, so that is kind of what I want that look to be. And let's actually make this a repeat grid, because we're gonna need, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 different fruits that we're gonna swipe through. 6, there we go. All right, so let's bring this down here, just so we can sort of see everything instead of trying to do this while it's off the screen. And okay, then I'll just go ahead and layer all these little fruits on top in the center here of each of these. We got our raspberries, blueberry. Okay, group those together. Now we can bring it up. A little easier than trying to center them when they're kind of falling off the screen there. All right, and then when this one's selected, we need some way to show that it's selected. You could either have this little square change colors, but I'm just gonna add a circle underneath right here. Give it a little border. Bring this up to like 3. I think that's good. Cool. Maybe a little bigger. That's pretty small. Okay. That looks good. And then we can group these together. And then actually, I think I'll make this a component because we want to have different states, different selected states for each of those. So I'll make this a component right here. And then we can just go through and add different states in this little area right here for each of these apples, or each of these fruits. So we've got apple. We'll do one for strawberry, raspberry, lime. I'll skip the blueberries, or wait, that's a raspberry? What is that one? Raspberry. Blackberry, that's what it is. And blueberry. Okay. Only because I only have so many pies up here. All right, so apple, that's the correct state. Strawberry, we just want to double click in there. So make sure you're double clicking into your group and drag this over while selecting shift. So we got our strawberry. And then for raspberry, we'll do the same thing. Drag this over. And then lime, double click in, drag that over. And blueberry, double click in and drag that one over. Okay, so we'll start with apple. And that way, just for the rest of those screens, all we have to do is select this, come over here, and then go through all of the component states. So it makes it a little bit quicker. All right, now for our little circular animation, what I want to do is zoom out a bit, and I want to make this huge circle here and just kind of line it up with, and you may have seen, this is my trick that I've showed you guys before, so maybe some of you guys know this already. But just line it up with the top right up here of that pie, and we'll send it backward right there. Actually, want to line it up right here because we want the background pie to just stay static. So don't group this in with the rest of your like topping layers. And then let's just, again, bring both of these down off that artboard just so we can see everything a little bit clearer while we're adding all of these pies to our circle. And actually send to back. And then same thing here, I'm just kind of aligning all of these along the outside here. And let me make sure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we got enough pies. Just making sure I have enough there. All right, and then let's group all of those together. So Command G to group those. And then we'll just drag this back up here so it's kind of in the same spot. And then double click in, and we don't want to see this little white background, obviously. So just unselect both of those. But the reason I did that is because we can still, that circle is still there, even though we got rid of the color. But this way we can drag this around perfectly along that circle border. So it makes it a much smoother transition there. And the only other thing I want to add here is what kind of pie this is. So this is, I would say this is more just like the feature page. You wouldn't want to put obviously like 500 pies on here, but just like, you know, featuring the 5 top pies of the week or whatever. So this will be apple pie recipe right here, because we need a link or a CTA button to whatever. We need to give the users somewhere to go from here, not just looking at a nice pie. Although it is fun to look at. And as I'm zooming in, I noticed that this is actually strawberries, not apples in this pie, but it's okay. We're gonna roll with it. And I'll make this a little bigger. So sometimes I like to just add a pen tool line down here instead of like using the underline from the like this underline from the text, because you'll see it kind of cuts through some of those letters that go below the descender there. So I'm just gonna do a separate one. And then let's drag in our little arrow right there, and we can just want to make sure I'm not grouping the circle, the big circle behind. Group all of those together. Okay, and let's make sure these are sent to back, so that way we can select those. Perfect. Okay. Christina said, yum. Richard said he can't wait for Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh, Ariana, that sounds so good. Apple pie a la mode with some ice cream. Oh man, that sounds so good. And I'm gonna name this apple pie for our first artboard there. Okay, now we are good. Let's just copy and paste that whole artboard, and it keeps everything in the same place, so we're all good. And since we set this up pretty perfectly, you know, we set up our circle to move exactly along that border there. We already set up our components. All we have to do is just rotate this a bit right here, and then come down to the component states, change this to strawberry, and it moves over, and change this text to strawberry. Should have made this text a little bit smaller because there's not a ton of room here, but that's okay. All right, and then copy and paste, zoom in a bit, and again, just rotate that around. Try to get it as close as you can, that's fine. And raspberry. This is clearly not raspberry. But since I made this a component, I could still go back to my main component here. Oh wait, did I make it a component? I did not. I could do the same thing that I did for all of these and just edit the first one, and then that would update all of the rest if you want to. All right, so we got raspberry. Let's continue on here. This one could be lime. Key lime, I guess. And we'll say key lime pie. I'm not sure what the key part is about. Key lime. I don't know. Curious though. And let's copy and paste. I think we just got one more in here. Let's rotate this around. Perfect. Oh, that's not perfect. It's a little off. Good enough. And then we can come in here to our component states again and just switch it over to blueberry. And we'll say blueberry pie recipe. I think this is the only pie that actually matches. Okay, there we go. Now we can hop into our prototype tab. And again, this part is super easy too, since we set everything up perfectly from the beginning. So we're gonna want to, you could either let the user kind of drag from selecting the pies themselves or from this area down here. And I think it makes a little more sense right now to select from the bottom there. So I'm gonna make the trigger drag. Our action will be auto animate, and it should just copy and paste. Yep, the same exact trigger and action for all of these whenever I drag that little blue trigger over. Okay. And the nice thing about auto animate is that it not only animates this bottom part, but also this part up here or whatever else you have on the rest of the screen. So let's go ahead and preview. And I'll get out of the way so we don't see all that busyness in the background. Okay. So apple pie, which is really strawberry, but whatever. We're just focusing on the interactions here. Boom, lovely. Look at that nice rotation since we had that circle in the background. Key lime, not really. Blueberry, the only one that matches. There you go. And if you want to go backwards, all you do is select that same little like area that we drag at the bottom and bring it to the previous one. So if we start on this artboard, drag back, it works both ways, which is really nice. Awesome. And so like I mentioned at the beginning, if you want to do the scroll horizontal way, that's fine too. I just kind of felt like we had already done scroll groups with maps actually, so wanted to do something a little different for today. But yeah, feel free to do the circle way with drag trigger or the horizontal with scroll groups. Either way would be fine. And let's go ahead and Command S to save. As always, if you want to export this as like a video, come up here to your prototype, little play button, and you just press this little record button up here, and then whatever you're tapping around on your screen, it will record that. You can press that record button again and save it wherever you want. It'll save as an MOV file. Yes, Richard said, ooh, ah, yeah. Michaela said the little limes are called key limes. Big ones are called Persian limes. I didn't know that. Learned something new from you guys. Okay, so that is today's design. Now for my favorite part, let's go ahead and look at some of you guys' designs from the last few days. So I'm just searching XD Daily Challenge in Behance, sorted by most recent, and I have a few pulled up already that we're going to look at. Also, before I forget, if you are sharing on Behance and you want me to look at your work, go into Edit in your project, go into Settings, and use that keyword XD Daily Challenge, and that way I can find your work and give you feedback if you'd like it. So make sure you add that. All right, so this one's by Toru. I saw you've been completing a few of these during this challenge, so awesome for continuing. The apple orchard one, oop, I think I missed the beginning. It was very quick. Welcome to the apple farm. I love the pattern in the background. Buy tickets, nice. We've got all of our payment info. Lovely little illustration there. And check in when we get there. Nice. The interactions look amazing. Everything flows very nicely. Great job here, Toru. Thank you for sharing if you're watching. Let's see, maybe one or two more. Annie has done, I think, all of these. I think I've showed hers before on this stream too. Purchasing tickets. I like the little swipe up animation you did there. That was awesome. Review your order. Oh, that's nice. Just some more details, like what to expect when you arrive. All of that. You thought of everything. This is great. I love when you guys think of all of those little extra details. So thoughtful. Awesome job, Annie. That was very quick. And Jessica. So this is the one from last week. Bike helmet or whatever else sort of e-commerce design you wanted to do. Let's look at this one. Okay. Ooh, I love those boots. Nice color selection there. We've got the drop downs. Great job. All right, guys. That's about all the time that we have left for today. Oops. There we go. Don't go anywhere because in about 5 minutes we've got Draw Along with Kyle Webster. And I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. So make sure you put your designs in the current challenge channel in Discord. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific. Bye, everyone.